I was about to slap the living daylights out of this guy, but the cops broke us apart.
Sit here and cool off, lovebirds.
He's not my boyfriend. I would never date such a narcissist. Hi, I'm Paula. My life was quite ordinary, at least until something crazy happened to me. For as long as I could remember, I'd always begged my parents for a sibling. To show mom and dad that I'd be a good older sister, I dressed up our neighbor's cat and pushed it around in a stroller. It was going great until the cat's owner took the baby away. In any case, my parents always said no, and I stayed the only child. When I grew up, I got hooked on Asian dramas. You know, the ones about the feuds of rich heirs. I would tell my parents I was going to bed, but instead, I'd hide under the covers and watch the new episodes to find out who got the mansion with the pool and learn the dark family secrets. My favorite drama was called The Caged Rose. One day, I met a girl called Lily on a dedicated fan forum. She commented that The Caged Rose was the dumbest show ever. I spent the whole night arguing with her. In my rage, I almost broke my keyboard. But then, Lily and I got to chatting about school and life in general, and I realized I found a kindred spirit. Tell me about your family.
It's nothing special.
Lily lived in another town, but that didn't stop us from becoming friends. We texted each other a lot. 6 months later, Lily decided to come visit me during the holidays. It was the week of my dreams. Lily was cool and easily got along with my parents. We had pajama parties and laughed all through the night. I felt like I finally had a sister. Although, I'm not gonna lie, Lily was weird sometimes. For example, she didn't know she was supposed to put a lid on the blender before using it and caused a fruit explosion. Her smoothie got everywhere. On the walls, on the ceiling, and even on Dad's favorite shirt. Oops, sorry. We still had a great time and we grew even closer. It's been great. Let's do it again sometime. Lily left and my life went back to normal. A week after that, my parents suddenly started to pack their things and said they had to go on a business trip.
Paula, you don't mind staying with your Aunt Carrie for a couple of weeks, do you?
Are you serious? Aunt Carrie is a she-devil.
She's our only option.
Actually, there was one other option. I did what any normal teenager would do in a dire situation. I called my friend, Lily. Hi, my parents are going out of town. It's a long story. Anyway, could your parents please adopt me for a couple of weeks? There was a long silence before Lily finally said in a hesitant voice,
Sure, it'll be fun.
I explained everything to my parents, and they agreed to let me stay with Lily. She'd made a good impression on them. My friend's family was just like I'd imagined it from her stories. Her parents were polite, and her little brother Phil was sweet. He ran up to me and showed me his toy. What's your friend's name?
I forgot to tell you, he doesn't speak.
Oh, that's sad. I left my things in my friend's room, and we went downstairs for dinner. Everyone sat down at the table, and things got weird. For some reason, Lily's mom and dad didn't use first names when addressing their kids, or each other. It was all sweetie or kitten.
Baby bird, pass me the salad, please. Baby bird, would you pass me the juice?
It seemed strange to me, and I decided to lighten the mood with a joke. Which birds are we? Hawks or owls? No one laughed. I felt dumb, and Lily smiled sheepishly.
My parents, took a psychology course. They were taught that names are very last century. That names are better.
Okay, your house, your rules. I shrugged and thought to myself that at least they didn't address each other by numbers. Despite everything, I enjoyed staying with Lily's family. We had popcorn nights, went on family picnics, and took silly selfies together. Phil was a very cute child. I liked the gentle way he hugged his parents, the way he handed Lily a book so she'll read to him at bedtime, or the way he hugged me with a trusting smile. Oh! A new episode of The Caged Rose came out! Do you want to watch it together?
You know I think it's a dumb show.
Lily pulled the blanket over her head and fell asleep, or at least pretended to. The next morning, I saw Phil drawing something. I came closer and my heart sank. In his drawing, two monsters were holding Phil's hands. I saw Dad and Mom written in a clumsy, childish handwriting next to them. Lily and Phil's parents were so sweet, though. Why did he see them as monsters? I told myself that he was just a child with a wild imagination. Lily and I had no plans for the evening, and I suggested she introduce me to her friends.
Paula, you're my only friend.
I was used to Lily joking around or starting fruit apocalypses in the kitchen, but now she looked so lonely. I wanted to cheer her up somehow, so I went to a coffee shop to buy her favorite dessert. To my shock, I saw Lily's father there. He was having dinner with a woman and a little girl who called him Daddy. What did it all mean? Lily's family was so weird. I wasn't sure if I read the situation correctly or not, and whether I should tell my friend about it. The next day, I was still thinking about it when Lily and I were standing in line for coffee. Then, an expensive car pulled up to the coffee stall, and a guy got out of it. He was handsome, a year or two older than us. He pushed everyone aside like he was the king of the world, and he bought coffee. Moron. The guy turned around and looked at Lily with a sneer, and then he poured his coffee on her.
This is even better than just drinking it.
It made my blood boil. Feeling like I got possessed by a demon boxer, I hit that scumbag in the chest as hard as I could. Ouch! Are you wearing a bulletproof vest or something?
Better. I have abs of steel, baby.
Who are you calling baby? I grabbed a cup with lemonade from a random customer and I threw it at that idiot. But that bastard quickly bent down and the cup hit a police car parked nearby. Officer, it's all his fault!
She's insane! Arrest her!
The cop didn't try to get to the bottom of it and took us both to the police station. He decided that we were a couple who went too far during a fight. I wouldn't date such a narcissist! While I was alone in my cell, I had plenty of time to think. I decided that I should probably tell Lily what I'd seen in the coffee shop.
You're free to go. You've been bailed out.
What about Mr. Perfect Hair?
He got bailed out 15 minutes after you got here.
I went outside and I saw Lily. Apparently, she was the one who got me out of there.
Fighting that jerk was so stupid of you, and so sweet. No one's ever stood up for me like that before. Thank you.
We hugged and went home. Lily, I need to tell you something. I told her that I'd seen her father with another family. My friend turned pale as a ghost, but not because of my words, but because we saw her mom with some man.
What's going on here, Mom? I have the right to go on dates outside of working hours.
Working hours?
Besides, I signed a better contract, so I quit.
I glared at my friend and demanded an explanation.
I'm sorry, Paula. I screwed up. That house is rented. My parents were actors. And Phil, his real mom and dad are so terrible. He was allowed to stay with us while Child Protective Services were looking for a new home for him. You asked if you could stay with me, so suddenly, I didn't know what to do. I had to arrange everything in a hurry. The actors didn't even have time to learn each other's names. They had to improvise.
Why put on a show at all? What for?
I lied to you when I told you my family was ordinary. The truth is, I'm rich, but my family are snobs. They would do anything for my grandmother's inheritance. My real home is cold, and everyone manipulates each other all the time. I wanted to feel normal for once.
I stood there with clenched fists. I wanted to leave, but Lily's eyes were so full of pain. You're an idiot, but I do forgive you. And I want to meet your real family, no matter what they're like.
Be honest. Do you just want to feel like you're in a Caged Rose episode?
Well, maybe a little bit. The next morning, Child Services came and said they'd found an orphanage for Phil. He threw his arms around us and burst into tears. My eyes stung too. Lily was sniffling as well. Everything will be all right. I promise. Now I knew what his drawing meant. He ended up in an orphanage because of his monstrous parents. After that, Lily and I went to her real home. It was a freaking palace! The atmosphere inside was cold as ice. Lily's grandma was sitting in an armchair like a queen, and her parents were sucking up to her, clearly afraid that the old lady would cut them out of her will.
Hi everyone, I'm back. Did you leave?
Never mind. And then he walked into the living room. Are you kidding me?
I forgot to tell you, this is my older brother, Julian.
He looked at me with a haughty smirk.
So you're the Paula my sister's been staying with.
I realized he wasn't aware of Lily's charade. No one was. So I put on an innocent smile. Yeah, and now Lily invited me over to meet you guys.
What an honor. Let me give you a tour of the house.
Julian roughly grabbed my wrist and pulled me out into the hallway.
My friends saw the cop arrest me. You have no idea how humiliating that was. I'll turn your life here into a living hell for that.
I'm not afraid of you. Or do you need a reminder? I pretended Julian didn't intimidate me at all. Although, deep inside, I was actually shaking with fear. That guy was clearly ready to grind his enemies into dust. There were so many fun things to do in Lily's house. We decided to start the tour of the rich life from the stable. Julian suddenly showed up. He scared my horse by pinching it. It reared up, but I managed to stay in the saddle. Karma instantly caught up with Julian. His horse got scared too and threw him off into a haystack. Lily and I doubled over with laughter.
You know, Paula, even our house feels cozy with you in it.
Julian was spitting mad. The next day, when I was relaxing in a jacuzzi, he talked one of the maids into hiding all the towels. But I didn't panic, and I wrapped myself in the shower curtain. Just admit you wanted to see me without a towel. Later that evening, I got the honor of having dinner with Lily's family. A long table, emotionless faces, 10 forks for each dish. I felt like I was stuck in a boring movie. Julian was on cloud 9 when he realized I didn't know much about etiquette.
In this house, we eat fish with a fish fork.
Well, in my house, we eat fish with our hands. Be grateful I'm using a fork at all. Lily giggled, and Julian clenched his fists in anger. One evening, I stumbled on the stairs and I almost fell, but strong arms caught me. Julian was holding me close, too close. For some reason, neither of us was in a hurry to look away from each other. I broke the silence first. Well, guess you're not completely useless. Strangely, he didn't get mad. He just calmly smiled at me and left.
Do you know what this means? My brother is falling for you.
That's impossible. Julian is already in love with himself. The next day, the house was bustling with activity. The preparations for the birthday of Lily's grandmother were in full swing. The staff were rushing back and forth. Lily's extended family were trying to look busy, and I, being a normal person, decided to sneak an apple from the kitchen. But then I dropped it, and it rolled down the stairs into the wine cellar. I went after it, and then who left the door open? A shiver ran down my spine when someone closed the cellar door. But that wasn't the worst part. Julian was there with me. We pounded on the door until we ran out of strength, and then sat down on the steps. What if there are mice here?
Mice don't attack the rich. They'll eat you first.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Chill. I have a plan B.
He took out his phone, but frowned when he realized there was no signal.
Dang it. I won't have time to pick up the present for Grandma.
Relax. All we could do was wait. It was cold in the cellar, and I started to shiver. Julian noticed and moved closer. Our shoulders touched, and I felt how warm he was. I also felt that Julian's mask was slipping.
Paula, you have no idea what it's like to be a part of this family. I have to live up to expectations all the time. I'm so tired of playing the perfect son.
Being imperfect can be good too. Lily created a whole fake family for herself because of the atmosphere here. Oops, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Oh, I'll keep my sister's secret. You know, there's something about you. The way you always fight back is annoying but admirable too. Maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't care what my family thinks.
We sat even closer after that. The world just seemed to stop. It was just the two of us and our strange closeness. At that moment, the door opened. Julian and I jumped apart like we'd been caught robbing a bank.
What are you doing in here? The party started ages ago.
The birthday party of Lily's grandma reminded me of a circus. A huge hall, flowers, and fake smiles all around.
My relatives can't wait for Grandma to die so they can split her money.
Julian suddenly decided to take the floor.
Grandma, I didn't have time to pick up your present yet, but I love you. Isn't that the best gift?
You just lost part of your inheritance. Julian turned pale and nervous.
That's not fair. Lily hates us all and even created a fake family for herself.
The people around us gasped. Everyone threw disapproving glances at Lily, and she ran away in tears. You're an idiot! I thought you wanted to change!
You don't get it. In this family, if you're not tough, you'll be destroyed.
If you act like them, you're no better than them. He looked away guiltily and fell silent. I ran out after Lily, and I found her in the garden. Your family is terrible, but it's up to you what kind of person you want to be. Stay open and honest, and you'll have your own loving family someday.
Thank you, Paula.
You know, watching dramas about rich heirs' feuds is much better than actually participating in them.
See why I hate the caged rose?
I returned home. My parents looked upset after their business trip and finally told me the truth.
Actually, we were at a clinic. We tried to conceive again, but it didn't work. We've always wanted to give you a sibling, but we failed.
That came as a shock to me, but then I got an idea. I know a boy who really needs a family. They hesitated for a long time, but ultimately decided to go through with it. That's how Phil became my brother. Lily and I keep in touch. She's already come up with a plan. As soon as she comes of age, she'll move out and get away from her cold family. One day, a delivery guy brought me a small box. There was a silver fish fork in it. I smiled because I knew who it was from. Maybe someday we'll meet again.